Christmas. My name is Jenifer, and I'm an artist. I like singing and dancing and storytelling and drawing pictures. Maybe you do too. Let's share some about Christmas. You know, Christmas is an experience, something that people everywhere in the world feel, no matter where they are or what they may call it or how they celebrate it. So let's explore some of the different ways in which Christmas is experienced. Here's my musical instrument, the Psaltery. I'll use it to accompany my singing, and I'm hoping that you will join me on some of the songs. Will you? Okay, good. Here's one I think you know. O Christmas tree, how evergreen thy branches. Once, on a cold winter night in long ago Germany, a man of God named Martin Luther was walking home through the snowy woods, and he came upon a beautiful fir tree, an evergreen. And it was such a sight. As he paused there to look up into the branches of the tree, through the topmost branches, he could see the stars twinkling in the night sky. And it was almost as if the stars were coming to rest right on the branches of the tree itself. And for Martin Luther, for just a moment, it seemed as if the whole tree were aglow with a heavenly light. And it was such a beautiful sight that he wanted to take it home with him. So when he got home, he did cut a small fir tree, and he took it inside his house, and he decorated it with lighted candles. And that, so they say, was the very first Christmas tree. Shall we sing it? Oh, Christmas tree, how evergreen thy branches. Oh, Christmas tree, how evergreen thy branches. You never change the whole year round, you brighten up the snowy ground. Oh, Christmas tree, how evergreen thy branches. I got to thinking about Christmas long ago. I mean, many thousands of years ago. In the ancient days, in the days before it was called Christmas, in the days before we had warm, dry houses with cozy beds and clean, comfortable clothes. In those days, in those earliest days, people lived in caves, and they had to hunt big animals for their food. And life was very dangerous and uncertain. You know, if you couldn't kill an animal, you had to go hungry. And winter was a very long, hard, cold time. You see, the people didn't know for sure that things would change, that spring would come and warm things up, and they were afraid. They came to believe that powerful spirits control their lives and the lives of everything around them. Now, they couldn't see these spirits, but they could feel them in the presence of the wind. Help me make the sound of the wind. And in the rain, help me make the sound of the rain. And in the animals, and these cave people wanted to please the spirits. They wanted the spirit of the wind and the spirit of the rain and the spirit of the animals to know that they depended on them in order to keep on living. So these cave people and the people who came after them danced and sang and they acted out all the important things of their lives. And they did this singing and dancing and acting out for the spirits. And they hoped that in return, the spirits would use their power to keep life going on forevermore. They certainly were cold in the winter. They wanted the sun to shine. So in the deepest, coldest time of winter, they lit special fires in honor of the sun spirit. They made light and warmth just like the sun. And they gave each other special gifts of evergreen twigs. And that was to remind themselves that they wanted life to go on forevermore. Now, some people call this Christmas, and some people don't call this Christmas. But whatever you call it, it just is. Now, you and I don't have to hunt animals for our food, and we don't live in caves anymore, but we still have our fears, and we still get lonely, and we like to get together to just sing and dance and enjoy one another, to be alive like this. Welcome here, all be alive and be of good cheer. Welcome here, all be alive and be of good cheer. Now this is a song and a dance, and it was used about 200 years ago in early America. It was used by some people who were called Shakers. And they were called Shakers because, well, they were a religious people, and they did a lot of trembling and shaking as a part of their worship. And they dressed in fairly plain clothes, and they led fairly simple lives. They went about their business daily in a very orderly fashion. But at Christmas and the New Year, they gathered all of their neighbors in, and they had a big party. And they sang, and they danced, and everyone who came to this party brought something especially yummy to eat. It was a kind of a covered dish affair. There were things like puddings and pies and special breads and warm hot toddies to drink to warm your bones against the chill. The good smells must have just covered the room. And they sang this song, and danced it too, of welcome for the new year. Welcome here, all be alive and be of good cheer. Welcome here, all be alive and be of good cheer. I've got a pie all baked complete, a pudding too that's very sweet. Chestnuts are roasting, join us here, while we dance and make good cheer. Welcome here, all be be alive and be of good cheer. Welcome here, all be alive and be of good cheer. Now, have you noticed how short the days have been getting? That night is coming sooner. It just is. It seems like the sun is dying. But we know that after Christmas, that the sun and all the plants and the animals which seem to die, they don't die at all. They come right back to life, don't they? Spring will come. And in Mexico and in Spain, they sing a song about this business of what seems to die coming back to life. It happens to be a song about a cat. And this cat's name is Señor Don Gato. And in this song, something happens which causes Señor Don Gato to lose his life. And then you realize that something else happens that causes Señor Don Gato to become reanimated, which means to come back to life. Now, at the start of this story, or this song, he's perched in a very unusual place. Well, maybe not so unusual for a cat. Let's give him a hat. Oh, and he's a lover cat. So I like to give him little hearts on his sombrero. And maybe this will give you a clue as to where he is. So this is the story then of what happened to Señor Don Gato. Well, Señor Don Gato was a cat on a high red roof. Don Gato sat. He went there to read a letter, meow, 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 where the reading light was better, meow, meow, meow. 'Twas a love note for Don Gato. I adore you, wrote the lady cat, who was fluffy white and nice and fat. There was not a sweeter kitty, meow, 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 in the country or the city, meow, meow, meow. And she said she'd wed Don Gato. Well, Don Gato jumped so happily, he fell off the roof and broke his knee. Broke his ears and all his whiskers, meow, meow, meow. Broke his little solar plexus, meow, meow, meow. Ay, caramba! Cried Don Gato. Then the doctors all came on the run, just to see if something could be done. And they held a consultation, meow, 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 about how to save their patient, meow, meow, meow. How to save Señor Don Gato. But in spite of everything they tried, poor Señor Don Gato up and died. And it wasn't very merry, meow, 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 going to the cemetery, meow, 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 Such a smell of fish was in the air, though his funeral was slated, meow, 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 he became reanimated, meow, meow, meow. He came back to life, Don Gato. He came back to life, Don Gato. Ole! Well, Christmas is certainly the time for merrymaking. And in England a long time ago, they had a big party at Christmas time. They all came in disguises. Everyone who came wore a mask or a costume of some kind. And they sang and they danced and they played a lot of jokes on each other. They call this party the Feast of Fools. And the leader of all the merriment was this fellow, the Lord of Misrule. And he was dressed in a very fancy costume, sort of covered with bells and ribbons, scarves, little greenery, I'm sure. Anything imaginable that would cause attention to be drawn to him, because he was the one who directed the day. He set up all the jokes, you know, and arranged for the processions. He was like king for a day. And the day was just topsy-turvy. Everything turned around, just like winter to spring. On that particular day, the servants and the masters changed clothes with each other, and the masters had to do all the servants' work for just that one day. And men dressed like women, and sometimes like animals. In Europe, even to this day, there are still places where in the little villages you'll find people dressing up like fantastic beasts or horned creatures. This is the mask of one from Austria called Frau Purst. And Frau Purst goes around to the houses near Christmas time at night and looks in the window. And in order to make her go away, you have to give her a small gift. And in Wales, they have this Mari Lwyd. And this mask is actually a clean horse's skull. And a man wearing a sheet puts his hands inside the skull and moves the jaws up and down, snapping the teeth and sort of dancing and prancing and darting at the children. And in Japan, they have the shishi, like this. And the shishi goes around to every house in the village around Christmas time and knocks on the door and asks if there are any evil spirits or any bad, mischievous children inside. And if there are, he chases them and gobbles them. Like that. Would you be scared? Well, you may be surprised to know that even here at home, there are people who play tricks at Christmas time. Here's a song about someone who wants some special things for Christmas. I want a snake for Christmas, all slippery and slimy and red. I'll take that snake for Christmas and make a nice home in my sister's bed. I want some mice for Christmas, all frisky and quick as can be. Won't it be nice to uncage those mice when Mommy has ladies to tea? I want some glue. There's lots I could do with a little bit of glue and a shoe. I'm not asking much for Christmas, just a snake and some mice and some glue. Just some mice and a snake and some glue sure would make my dreams come true. I could use worms for Christmas, all ooey and gooey and wet. Think of those squirms when Dad sees those worms in a dish of meatballs and spaghetti. And if you please, if you purty, purty please, for my brother's dungarees, send me fleas. I'm not asking much for Christmas, just a snake and some mice and some glue, just some worms and some fleas, just a few things like these that make my dreams come true. I want a hole for Christmas, a hole that is deep as it's wide. When Mommy finds out what this song's about, then I'll have a good place to hide. Well, it was about 2,000 years ago that a big change happened in the world, all right? It was at a time when the world was very, very troubled and very afraid. And it was a big change. It was just like winter to spring, only so big that it was almost as if time itself stood still. And what it was that a tiny baby named Jesus was born. And the world called him the Son of God. They said he was the light of the world, and that he would bring peace and joy into the hearts of everyone. And people came to that stable where he was born on that special night we call Christmas Eve. And the people came to share the goodwill that they felt and to give thanks for this special birth. Now, in the same stable, there were some others who shared on that special night. They shared something that only they could share. They shared themselves. There was the donkey and the cow. And there was also, of course, a sheep. And this one was the kind of sheep with a curling horn. And then there were also some little creatures high above in the upper parts, the little doves. Say a pair of doves. And these were no longer the ferocious beasts. These beasts are the gentle beasts. They're very giving and loving. They're very friendly beasts. Jesus, our brother, kind and good, was humbly born in a stable rude. The friendly beasts around him stood. Jesus, our brother, kind and good. I said the donkey all shaggy and brown. I carried his mother up hill and down. I carried her safely to Bethlehem town. I said the donkey all shaggy and brown. I, said the cow, all white and red, I gave him my manger for his bed. I gave him my hay to pillow his head. I, said the cow, all white and red. I, said the sheep with the curling horn, I gave him my wool for his blanket warm. He wore my coat on Christmas morn. I, said the sheep with the curling horn. I cooed the dove from the rafters high. We cooed him to sleep, my mate and I. We cooed him to sleep, he did not cry. I cooed the dove from the rafters high. And every beast by some good spell in the stable dark was glad to tell of the gift he gave Emmanuel, of the gift he gave Emmanuel. Well, today, our Christmas will probably be spent around the Christmas tree. We hope that Santa Claus will come, and we dream of all the good things we'd like to have. And maybe we'll dance, maybe sing, maybe share a laugh or two. And you know, each time we do that, we dance or sing or share a gift or laugh, we're lighting a little spark of the Christmas spirit. And each spark is like a star in the sky. They all belong to the sky. And all combined, they make a great blaze of light in the darkness of our winter days, just like the Christmas star itself. And that's Christmas. It just is. No matter where in the world or how in the world you celebrate it, it just is. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 Sing along. Whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. It's been wonderful to be with you, and thanks for joining me, and I hope we meet again. So till we do, so long. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.